benefited by the initiatives that we adopt. So in line with that, we do this digital transformation session across geographies, and we have Mr. Eugene here, who is an excellent and expert in this digital transformation.
I'm currently the CEO for A Business Technologies, and aside from looking after what technologies we can use internally and externally, and health called Z Living, and I was doing the digital part. Now, most of my work and job of my adult life, almost 20. In that, I had different roles. I was GM and General Manager for TFC.TV. This is streaming was not Netflix's first business. It was something else. And then at the same time was every new employee of Microsoft gets trained and go to Redmond. Every employee to do it. I was handling enterprise consulting and support for large sector. They were doing online banking as early as 2000 and smaller. I worked with Colgate-Palmolive, and my role there was on the ERP implementation as well as an EIS operation system. So the bosses, the idea was that the CEO or the head of sales, head of marketing just looks at the dashboard, the journey that we have to go through. And this is a story I tell. When I started working, when we need to invite somebody for a meeting, I have to type out a memo, so you can relate, maybe this one, right? So if you look at the transformation that I have seen in terms of how we work, how we live, I think I'm too old for this. Right? Time also when networking, I know you guys take it for granted. Your phone has so much access for you. When I started networking, well, in Colgate-Palmolive, not all machines were networked. You were special to be networked because it costs. So all the digital things that you need to do, websites, OTT, mobile gaming, even online gaming, we were doing in that time. So I was managing director there. And then at the same time, those are two jobs I held at the same time. So, but I just got paid once. So bosses, you can have people do more, and you only pay them once. Okay? So that they attend the meeting. Otherwise, they will miss it out. Okay? And if you want to send an email, there's no email then. You just have, again, how much speed do you have on meg? For Mbps. How fast is your 4G now? 20? In New York? And then downloads the email and sends the email, and the next cycle, another 4 hours. So it just does the call every 4 hours because I just do it myself. Right? Now I'm also a mechanic. I bought the car. You buy the parts, labor is free. Right? There the part is $5, install it $150 off. But the reason why I do this one is just to take away myself from digital. Because day in, day out, you're doing this one, right? But they cannot get. We've been voting for a long time. So a lot of things have changed, and these ones are new because of technology. Okay, so that's about me. Heard of digital transformation. Except before knowing that you're going to come here for digital transformation. I have to get used to it a lot, right? So I used to work I didn't include there, I work in Saudi also, transformations. Do you have extra microphone? I could make you work. This is the part where this is part of the workshop. I was here at this 1 minute, and then he comes back to me 2 hours later. You should have said 2 hours and 1 minute. So it's like ice becomes water? Basically.
No, like that. But still transforming whatever is possible to a digital. Okay.
So what do you do manually? If you can make it,
rather than having a manual input,
data
collection of data and making automation.
Okay. So what about you, gentlemen?
So creating more digital presence for your own business activities.
Okay.
So it's to be available anywhere, anytime.
Okay.
Can be processed also, easily stored.
Okay. Anyone else? It's okay. There's no wrong answer. And I can tell you there's also no right answer.
Shifting from paper to...
Okay?
Shifting the media from paper to digital.
Shifting from paper to digital, right?
Yeah, it's an integrated control of all the functions of an organization, largely the back end.
To simplify the back end, use digital so that I do less with more, right? I do more with less. Digital transformation, and then you have IoT. IoT became, like, if you don't do IoT, you're lost. Right? That was how long? 3 years ago? Now IoT is just part of way of life, right? I have so many smart things in my house that it's smarter than me. So sometimes I say, Alexa, turn on my dining lights. So which dining light? You have 2 dining rooms. Okay, I have. Right? So which light? So it asks me. Now it's Christmas time. I said, okay, Alexa. We're here about digital transformation. So I'll go through what I can share with you, and it's not just one way. It has to be 2-way, because I'm not the expert. I have seen a lot. Said 25 years, actually more than 25 years. So I feel so old. But then you also have your own experiences that you can share, right? So let's start from there. In terms of objectives, what I would like us to have is a clear understanding of what digital transformation is and what it is not. We hear so much about digital transformation, it's like buzzword, right? It's like Industry 4.0, what does it mean? Or what did that mean? Okay. And then identify key areas of digital transformation and look at why some DT projects fail and figure out not fall into the same traps. Okay? And then the last one is what are key learnings for successful digital transformation. So those are takeaways, and some of you are large corporations and you guys have been in existence for a long time. Some of you are startups also, so you want to see what are the things that you can do and learn from that. It's never too late to start. Okay? And they're defining it as the use of technology, and the ones that I highlighted, okay? Technology to radically change or improve performance. So radical. When you say radical, is it smooth? Is it simple? Is it easy? No, right? We shoot radicals. Okay? Sometimes if you're a radical CIO, Tech Target, again, it's a publication. This is designed for CIOs. It's incorporation of current technology. It talks about digital transformation a lot. This is its definition from 2014 to 2019. So if you look at it, it's fairly new. Digital transformation is a word or a keyword that's being used. This first time we're seeing employees. Okay, not only there's an operational models. So he even redefined himself. So what we're seeing here is that the more we know about something, our perception of it changes, right? It's like getting married. Okay, you see the ad of who you're getting married with. I think I like that one, I say yes. Okay. Then when you get married, it's totally different when you go home, right? And you do a manual manufacturing process, we automate it. Even doing some machinery. That was the Industrial Revolution, just using computers to send emails. Using cell phones before you have to line up. I used to you have to drop coins, right? Just to make a call. Now you don't have to do that. So there's so many changes that you will see. And what I've looked at is that digital transformation, when you collect all of these things, basically to share that if you don't have this, you can expand it. But if you don't have this, you might not be doing digital transformation. Okay, for me, I like to start with the end in mind. Like if you've read Stephen Covey's book on 7 Habits of Successful People, begin with the end in mind. You're doing the transformation because you want to create business value. Okay? If you're doing something and it doesn't deliver business value, what happens? That's not success from the client's perspective, right? So you have to look at it that way. Who's going to use it? What's the business value to them? To measure success for you, how are you going to make returns? How are you going to invest in it? Where are you going to get the money to spend it? Okay? So you should be able, if you're doing transformation, you should be able to generate business value. Next one. You should be continually transforming customer experience. There's a reason why I put customer in quotes, because customer context changes depending on what you're trying to do. Okay, it could be the end customer now, but it could be somebody else in the future. And hey, I want a meeting invite now. Everybody says, okay, good, then we'll meet. Right? Now we don't even have to meet at the same place. We can meet, like earlier, I was just talking to some of our clients. I had an issue. I had a meeting, 15 people trying to solve their issue. Just imagine being able to do that before. You can't do that before, right? It's an experience that's different. However, you have to be continually doing it. You can transform an experience once. If you stop, what happens? What happens when you stop transforming people? Somebody would have seen companies that have Nokia. You've seen it. I know I don't want to say about it, but it's in there. They transformed the way we use cell phones. They were cheap, right? I can text so fast that I have, like, my fingers are like this, and I can't move it anymore, right? But now they're gone. They sold with someone else. They still sell cell phones now, but it's not the same Nokia as before. They had 80% of the market share. But they stopped. I know they tried, but they did not create the transforming customer experiences. We had so much business for them. I would just keep on evolving. But they tried. We partnered with them with some smartphones, but it didn't really work out. In the case of Michael, just tell you this is what we want to do. This is how we want to reach the market. We have some structures, but if you want to change something, try it out. If it works, share it. Then we'll fix it. Okay? So mindset is there. So without becoming an agile, that's why companies like TCS, you grow a lot more because you allow other people to make decisions, right? For smaller companies, all decisions have to be the boss's decision. And it becomes a problem. Okay? Because then, as you grow, you might grow up to 10, up to 100, 150. One boss can manage 100, 150, right? When you get to more than that, you fail. And that's a very, very big failure. I think you will experience that, is that you have to learn management expertise, or not, at least management skills, be able to scale, go more than 100. Okay, so this is the 4. Any questions? Any sharing? Fundamentals. They have so much in there. Silicon Valley companies think differently. They would spend so much money. They have an idea. They will get customers. I don't know yet how to make money. Facebook started the same way. They didn't know how to monetize. And then investors were just coming, okay, you're smart people. And this is where an agile organization comes in. You're smart people. You can figure it out eventually. Right? Sometimes it doesn't work that way. Amazon has been losing for so long. So. Right? It's only in the recent ones that they have, because he was investing so much. So the difference with Amazon is that all the money they made, they reinvested. Sometimes it cannot work. Okay? Anything else? So for yourselves, you can define it here, and then you might want to extend something else, but you can also start here because it can encapsulate everything else that you want to do. Okay? Just measure it. Can I, if you do a digital transformation, just say, can I measure the business value that's going to come out of it? Okay. Second one, sometimes we're so enamored with technology that we want to make it work, but the experience is so bad, and it doesn't work. Look at the customer first, the experience that they will get. Once you know what a wow experience happens, right? You did not expect it, but it just works. Or you were amazed. I was just checking into, I was traveling. I was in Ramadan in Chennai last night. First time I was in Chennai, and I'm just sleeping overnight just to get here because there was no direct flight from Hyderabad at the time. Experience. Right? Do you think I would like to stay there again? Rupees, $2? This is all US dollars. Sorry, I can do the 70. Let's round it up to 70. Huh? That's a lot of zeros. If you don't do digital transformation, you will get a lot of zeros. Just the zeros without the numbers in front. Okay? Now, out of that 1.97 trillion, cloud services and infrastructure is actually not all cloud services. Some cloud service will just be typical IT workloads that are moving from in-house to the cloud. But cloud is one of the drivers for digital transformation. 229 billion is spent this year alone, but it's going to grow to 500 billion, greater than 500 billion on private clouds. So it's still cloud ready. You don't have to tell them it's public cloud. It has to be, it's cloud ready. Whether you have a public cloud or you do it private cloud, it allows you to manage your infrastructure better. Now, the third one, 30% of Fortune Global 2000 companies spend or allocate 10% of their revenue for digital transformation. That's a big chunk of your 100 billion. 71% of companies are looking at leveraging the cloud for digital transformation. So you have to leverage the cloud. If you are creating products and services, if you are consulting, if you are helping companies do their implementations on the cloud, you are already there. If not, start thinking about that strategy on how you can drop it in the cloud. If you are doing RPA, you're also lucky because 57%, if you're not doing RPA yet, if you have thought about it, go and jump. Because what they're saying is that 57% companies are piloting using robotic process automation. This is just simple automation that you have, because eventually we want our people to be doing complex tasks. We don't want them to be signing in documents, right? The typical jobs that you do, can review, get an invoice, process it. That's why we have the business process outsourcing that we get here. It's fine. It should be continuous, because one-time improvement is okay, but after that one, what happens? Your ROI should be continuous. It doesn't happen with just single ROI and that's it. Unless you're investing one time and you got the return, but you'd still do the reinvestment. So it should be continuous, the thing that you're doing. And only 3% are reporting complete success. And these are not my numbers. I have references here and knows where it got them. So it's a lot of research that's been done. Now let's go. No monopoly on who will fail. Small business will fail. Big business will fail. So don't worry if you fail sometimes. Because it's a reality. But how you get up and how you learn from that, that's actually the learning. Big numbers, right? Big numbers that we can get a share of. Okay? Any thoughts, ideas? You want to get a pie? You want to get a share of this pie? What do you need to do? I know, digital transformation, what do you need to do? You have to create experiences. Okay? You have to create transformational experiences. You have same-day delivery here? No? Next day. I buy more online than I buy in store. I bought my car online. I bought my house online. I bought my TV online. Like the only thing I don't buy online is food, grocery, and even sometimes if I cook Spanish paella, I buy the rice online because it's not available in my store. But I can do things I can do before, but it's not so good. Yep. But large organizations are wanting to do a digital transformation for 3 years. They haven't reached their goals yet, but that's one of the case studies that they have to do.
You can reap the benefit in a short period, but then
yeah, but then you have to again move it, because if you don't, somebody is going to come and copy what you do, and they will copy what you do cheaper. So you have quota, right? So it's not even innovation. You have to be transforming. Innovation is just more like, okay, you're. That's why you have a new version of the same phone every year. It's the mindset that you have to manage experience, but it's basically the same thing. They're just doing more of the same. There's not a change. It's not the same as the difference wherein I had a flip phone and then I have a smartphone. That's transformation. I have a smartphone. I have a little bit smarter phone. A little bit smarter phone that does this. It doesn't do much, right? You've seen the innovation wherein the curved screen from S8. Great as a technology. Crap as an experience. You can put a case in it. If you drop, you lost your phone. So as a technology, it was so great. I can see a lot of these things, but doesn't really. Do I really need it? Customers really need it? Yeah, you can showcase it the same way. So those are the things that you have to look out for. Start with the customer experience. Sometimes we just want to find a use of a technology because it's so great. I have this technology, but does it really make sense for the customer? Right? Sometimes you have to hold back because the cost.
increase visibility of what is the ground reality in manufacturing, the processes and all. So it would help reduce the wastage.
Okay.
They get to see what is happening on the ground, and top management is able to see this much is going waste, and that helps to improve the process.
Yep.
They come up with. And then better decision making for future. And then we do have some ML,
Okay.
machine learning.
That's the next step.
Is
You have all the data.
preventive, predictive analysis and stuff like that. And then whenever the environment changes, there is a quicker response to whatever is happening on the ground. So
Digital transformation.
Okay.
Okay, and to increase the efficiency,
Okay.
and maybe they want to make a database for what are the wrongs they have done, all those things. Maybe if we do it in manual, they will forget sometime.
Okay.
So maybe in this, and it will also give equality to every customers.
Okay.
They want to find out the entire whole life cycle of the product which they are offering. Like they have some maintenance work which they have to do on some, let's say some temperature is going down, they have to do some maintenance work. So like before the customer is calling them, for my customer there is some
Preventive.
yeah.
Predictive and preventive.
Yeah, preventive measurement, and then like whole product life cycle management. In the sense, till the end of the life cycle of their product, really the ultimate product owner will be managing it, rather than the customer complaining about their product and like managing it.
Are a
So
significant part of the digital
you're in a
journey.
good spot.
Absolutely. And so one key reason which our customers have always emphasized while taking the digital journey is operational efficiency. Today they might be doing a task with 5 men, or maybe I'm just giving you an example.
Do digital transformation because we want to stay in the market. Otherwise, if we are not doing it, we may be thrown out only.
Okay.
So by doing simplifying life of the some society, we need to add something which simplifies. So it's in the process.
Or looking at technology, how can I evolve my business so that when new opportunities come in, I can easily grab it. Okay, I have a new experience, I'm ready to do that. Now you're seeing uses of blockchain that was for Bitcoin only, right? But now one of the case studies are actually using blockchain for something else that's more powerful and beneficial to society, not people mining digital money. And you see blockchain is not going to come back. They went to pay $1,000 per coin. Now it comes down to something else, and a lot of people lost money. So here you're just reimagining. Okay. The other thing is that, and this is what you guys are saying, you don't transform. Sometimes you don't transform by choice, because if you've seen, doing a digital transformation is risky, right? How many have failed? How many have succeeded? It's risky. It's how you go back up. Sometimes you just go down and just go down all the way. Okay? And you've seen that in several corporations, and they've been successful. Don't get me wrong, they become successful. They have made so much money, but then they just went away. Like Nokia made so much money at their time, but eventually they just bought in the licenses to someone else. Okay, so let's just when define customer is someone that's buying from you. It's there to drive revenue growth. That's what you have to do. Okay, if you want to increase your revenue growth, you will say lose the customer, because you just look at your operational processes. Most businesses now are just focusing on this one. When you talk about digital transformation, it's in this portion. I just want to reduce cost, because it's all driven by IT. And what I've seen in organizations is that once there are computers involved, that's an IT job. Right? Product development, there's computers, IT job. But if it was doing something else, no, right? If you're doing production or animation, that's not an IT job. You just happen to use computers. At least you guys realize that it's not It's not technology, but we started with there. But you'll see other organizations wherein as soon as there's a computer involved, it's an IT job. Then it becomes a cost center and doesn't help your product development. In my work in ABS-CBN and in other jobs, only a few of them, I think only when I was starting out, that I was in the IT side. I just realized that it's so hard to justify cost every time I'm doing an IT. I want to do this, it's so hard. But if I'm doing new projects, new products, it was so easy. Create a news website when news websites were not yet existing. What year was this? 1997, 1998. Create a large-scale news website. Yeah, of course, you have to have a value to it. It's easier. So I was doing more product business model transformation because for survival. You know, if you don't do it, then somebody else will take it. That's why you want to do some expansion, maybe. In an instant, I had worldwide market capability. So those are the things that they can do. And in the case of an online product, you don't actually talk to the customer, right? You will see the behavior of a marketing campaign globally. We don't have the money. It's very simple, right? So I did analytics-based segmentation. I said, I have 100 million data points. I looked at it and look at the pattern. My question was only this: why would people subscribe? I ran through the data, waited several hours, and it said, if they're female and they're in the US, they have a higher chance of conversion. So what did I do? I just spend it on advertising to females in the US. That are Filipinos, by the way. So then I don't have to spend so much. I got my conversion, and after that one, the next one. What's the next one? Actually, the next one was that if they are in Canada and they have credit cards, go for it. So it doesn't matter now. So it's different on a per territory basis. It's a different answer. If I want to advertise in the US, go for females, the US, and done. If you want to do it in Canada, just look for Filipinos with credit cards. You're good. It's easy, right? Rather than spending so much on you don't know what's going to happen. Now, that allows you also socially informed knowledge. So you have social media that comes in. You just do social media listening and analyze the patterns and behaviors. You'll see it. You see the patterns, you see the behaviors, then adapt your product to that. You understand the product. Now for top line growth, Amazon will show you, oh, people who look at this product also look at this product, these are the competitors. Like, it knows so much about your behavior and you don't even have to tell it much, right? It's based on behavior. And then streamline customer processes. It used to be, if you want to buy something in Amazon checkout, you have so many steps, right? If you buy online in other online stores, add it to cart, do all the stuff. Now I can just click on buy one vendor. Let's compare it to another. Because things fail. It's a reality. Things fail. What happens when things fail? Okay? Customer service is very important. It happened to me several times. Amazon actually, if I don't, see, imagine you buy something and you make it available online. You have billboards, you have other work for you that's relevant. They know your business already. They know your business. Now you would hire somebody else in another job that doesn't know your business. What happens? Then it takes you 6 months to 1 year before you get the returns. Worker enablement. And in the session yesterday, I said, why would you like digital transformation? Because I want my employees to work 24 hours a day. We had a Twitter service before there was Twitter. But because of organizational constraints and business model constraints, this is in 2003, 2004. Because of the myopic view that it's only local, and they have to charge for it, and this is the difference, right? Because people have to charge, we have to make money, so we charge people every time that we text out. So the service we have is, there's a celebrity, and then so this is before Instagram and social media followers, we had celebrities. You sign up to the text number of the celebrity, and then the celebrity will tweet, okay, I'm here eating this, I'm watching a movie. So just updates from the celebrity, just text message, right? And we want to charge people who want to sign up, and they were paying something like close to 2 rupees every message. Now we have celebrities that have 2 million followers, 5 million followers. When they send out a message, how much do they get? 2 million times 2 rupees? 4 million rupees? Half of it goes to the telco, part of it goes to us, and then part of it goes to the. But imagine if we open it up, not worry about the monetization first, and we would have that written. Same concept. Technology-wise, that's what we're talking about. Technology did not change. It was how you package it. It's how you present it. What was the experience for the customer? That's very important here. And for digital globalization, enterprise integration. So we have companies. So you have Japan and India, right? Do you integrate in terms of processes and services? It's not easy, right? Yeah, 500,000, 500,000 employees. There should be distribution of how decision making is done. In the same way, for you have a multinational, not all decisions have to be done at one level. If you allow that, if you have an organization that allows that, then you can go faster. And then a shared digital service. Sometimes you grow so much, so big, and this is what happened to News Corp, and they created a new organization that services all the News Corp properties, Fox News, even, and it's done here in Bangalore. So they created a new team, maybe less than a year old, that just services all the other internal News Corp clients. Shared service, lower cost, but this you have visibility of cost. Okay. This is where you can play, but it doesn't have to be here. But this is just a framework for you to look at what else can I do from a digital transformation standpoint. Okay. So some case study. Some of them you've seen so many times, like Netflix. But what I'll tell you is more about how does it relate with some of the others. Okay? Have you heard of Blockbuster? Blockbuster. So, did you do DVD or VHS rental before? Right? When you were younger, when we were younger. So I go to, either you buy the DVD, which is most likely pirated, or you go to a rental, they rent out the tapes or the DVD, which are also pirated, but you still have to pay. So what Blockbuster is, that was Netflix business. So Netflix was trying to compete. Blockbuster had so many stores, hundreds and hundreds of stores. You can see like 7-Eleven, similar. Because people that like to buy a DVD in the US is $20. $20, right? If you rent it out, it's about $1 or $2. So Netflix at $10. So Netflix problem was that I have to buy content. I have to pay for content. And the way content works and movies work and licensing works is that you buy it for each country that you want to use it. That was the model before. Now it has changed because of Netflix. You buy it for each country. When did Netflix come to India? 2017, right? 16. Not too long. Yeah, so 4 or 5 years. Netflix has been streaming since 2007. Why did it take that long? We said, if you're digital transform, I can just open boundaries. I can stream anywhere. But why did Netflix go to India or worldwide until 2015, 14? The reason was that they did not have licenses globally for the content. So they were paying for content only for the US. They had a deal with Showtime for $100 million for 5 years. Once that expired, Showtime was going to ask them. When they got that $100 million, streaming was all starting. So Showtime was saying, that's a good deal, $100 million for something that I don't have to do anything, right? So it was a good deal for them. Netflix, it was a big deal for them. We met our 5-year targets because it was a totally new experience. Nurses who weren't buying before, they said, this is perfect for me because, or even if I was a domestic helper, it's perfect for me. I go work the whole week. On weekends, I just watch all the episodes. I just buy more tissue. I just cry, and then that's it. Yeah, I actually went around Europe and talked to customers, and she said, you know what? She was a nurse. You know what? Thank you so much for your product. Why? Used to be before, this way ahead. We actually did this one in 2005. And from that one, we created also a set-top box. Even Roku had set-top boxes. We already had set-top boxes to be able to deliver VOD. When bandwidth was 2 Mbps. Right. So, yeah. Now, this one is familiar for you. We have our friends from Apple. What's an iPhone? You have an iPhone. But who can remember Motorola? Who knows Motorola? Who have heard of Motorola? What can you say about Motorola?
Best flip phone?
Huh?
The best flip phone?
Flip phone, right?
Yeah.
Motorola were the pioneers of mobile. Cellular. They invented cellular. I knew a guy.
Actually, here they did not have.
They did not have. So the first handheld mobile phones were this big.
And large antenna.
Okay. Now you have Samsung. When you buy a TV, when you're buying a TV maybe 10 years ago, what brand would you be buying? Sony. Sony, right? If you buy a TV, if it's not Sony, that's wrong. So that's just a transformation for you. Same, it's similar, but again, on the Android side, that's what they're doing. They at one point, Samsung was doing Windows Phone, Windows CE Phone, Android, anything except Apple, right? But they were the ones who made Android. They were the ones who said, okay, we'll bet on this one. That's why you have so many. Android is more attached to Samsung than Pixel is to Google and the Android, right? Pixel is just too late to the game, that it's just so hard, and they price it too high. All right, let's talk about transportation and travel. Yes, sir.
With the previous slide, why, in your opinion, why would Apple, if they were being so profitable, move to streaming? Because they recently launched what, Apple Plus or Apple TV Plus?
That's what you do when you have so much money, you want to expand, right? So Apple, so look at complementary products. So Apple has, they started with the
music.
Before that one. See, I'll go back to Apple II. Before the Mac, it was an Apple II. Okay, so they started, and you have the Android side wherein Google doesn't even control the experience. You don't know when the upgrades are going to come in for your phone. It's the manufacturers that control the experience for you. Okay, so transportation and travel. Lexus. Familiar with Lexus? It's Toyota.
Porsche Toyota?
Huh?
Porsche Toyota?
It's just Toyota, and they just charge you double. It's Toyota's luxury brand. That's why you already have Infiniti based out of Nissan. But it's the same thing. But Lexus was the first one who did that. And what were they trying to? Who are they trying to compete with? Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Audi is not even there before. So what did they do? How do you get to the luxury part of it? That's what Hyundai is trying to do also, Kia, all the other guys, because there's more money to that. What they did was an experience that's totally different. In the early 90s when they launched, what they did was they networked all of their dealerships. Networking dealerships in the 90s was too expensive. And they created a database that is shareable on the history of the customer and the history of the car. So if you bring a car to any Lexus dealership, they know exactly what to do for your car. We take it for granted now. So this is again another thing that you have to understand. That's why it's continually transforming customer experiences, because what is wow before becomes normal today. Okay? Once the normal becomes normal, another wow will come in. And that's a cycle. Create all the wow elements. It's like getting married again, right? In terms of the battery and electric car, I'm talking about the customer experience. Tesla sends out updates to your car over the air. So it's like having a new car every time that there's an update, right? So they got their own Model 3. But when they got delivery, this is how great the customer experience was, that they will deliver your car to your house. But they had a problem because they didn't have enough delivery people, that they had some customers helping out Tesla deliver the cars to other customers. Would you as a customer do that for your vendor? No, right? But people are so excited because of the experience of the product and the services being offered that they're willing to share it, and they're happy to do it. They're not even paid. They just do it. So that was kind of easier for you to be able to provide. So we're just too far away. You can read about them, but if you haven't been there, you don't really know how they operate. Best Buy, actually what Best Buy sells electronics. So if you want to buy your Sony TV before, you go to Best Buy. Okay? If you want to buy audio, whatever, DVDs, Xbox, you go to Best Buy. Walmart did not even sell that before. So Best Buy is your go-to place to buy electronics. Became the best showroom for technology. So I go to Best Buy, look at the 65-inch TV, and then I go back out. And then I order online. Right? So how do you compete online? So they had to rethink. They had to close some of their stores before, and then they figured out what was the strategy. And it's all again based on customer experience. What they said was that I should be offering products that people would like to see, and then right there and then provide support for them. Support is very important. If something breaks, just bring it back to me. I'll have it fixed. If you have it online, do you think you will ship it back and then wrap it and then send the TV to Amazon? Doesn't make sense, right? For them, they just bring it to Best Buy, have it fixed. Because you like it or not, TV manufacturers sometimes make it a house or construction or repair or whatever, you go to Home Depot. I'm always there. For my carpentry and mechanical, I go there because it's so cheap. Right? But then there are Mexicans waiting there, and if you get them, you pay them like $25 to do stuff for you. So anyway, that's racist, no, sorry. But they're the ones waiting there, they will help you out. So because they're the only ones willing to do the job, the other ones don't do it. I can't even remember the others. It's like very basic. But if you look at what's available in Azure, the portal then was just very simple. If you look at the portal, it's like, what the heck? So many things you can do. And same thing with AWS. AWS is just infrastructure now. Now you can do whatever you need for enterprise to do local hosting, local infrastructure. They do it now on the cloud. So there's really no point for you to do it on your own. Just leave it there, and I don't have to do that. So a lot of these disrupting companies, I wouldn't call them digitally transformed because they are digitally native. So they don't even have to transform. They're just that by nature. And I hope some of you are that by nature. You are digital by nature, that you don't have to transform. You're already transformed. Okay? You already are creating business value. You are transforming experiences. You're leveraging technology, definitely. But you're also an agile organization. When things happen, you are able to react accordingly. So that's I think and then Apple have been changing their business. I told the story, right? They were just selling computers, and then the phone was totally different for them. Well, the iPad was just an extension for that. But even the iPad coming in, you don't know where it was coming from. It was more exciting doing it. And also sometimes it becomes just a mandate from management. Just do digital transformation. I attended the session with Eugene, and he said we do digital transformation, right? So you should do it. Okay? I don't want to miss out. People are doing digital transformation. Let's do it also. But if I will say, okay, I need something from customer service. I need to change. Oh, it takes us 3 weeks to do that. They're already telling you why you can do it. It's going to save you money. It's going to increase your revenue. But what's in it for me? I'm doing the hard work. People don't see it. Management doesn't see it. Take care of your people. Your people are the ones making it for you. The key thing actually is, I learned this so late, is that you hire people smarter than you. I became their boss. I hired my own boss because I know I can do what I can do, and his job is to do other stuff. I do the technology part, he does all the political part. So if you hire someone smarter than you, then you don't have to worry about getting things done. They will do it for you. If I was the owner of a company, I will hire the smartest guy I can hire that can do the job that they need to do and get out of the way. Right? Okay, what about culture? Again, we just expect because, especially in Asia, because I said so, it should happen. I'm the boss, just follow whatever I say. It doesn't happen that way. You just expect employees to adopt. No, you have to learn. You have to teach them. You have to prepare them. And that's why you have lacking employee engagement. You're not educating them. You're not convincing them. You're not helping them. You're not giving them incentives. Do you think they will do it? No. That's why it fails, because it's your vision. It's not my vision. Okay? Your digital transformation vision is yours. Is it your employee's vision? If it is not your employee's vision, what happens? They will not do it. Right? Risk aversion. Again, this is more Asian than anything else. But see, these are Western case studies. It's not only unique to Asian, but it's so easy to relate it here because we are so risk averse. The question I had yesterday was that how can we guarantee success then, so that we don't have to do all this? Like, no one can guarantee you success. It's people who want to learn continually. People, again, go back to change, right? We don't want to change. Technology comes in. I don't want to change. I don't want to adapt to the new technology. So you reverse it. What experience do you benefit out of it? Then you adopt technology faster. When the smartphone came in, it was too easy for you, right? Because technology was not resistant for you. It was easy. Just move it, do it. No matter how old or young you are, my kids were accessing the phone 2 years old, 3 years old. They don't even have a manual. It used to be when you have a phone, you have a very thick manual, right? This is how you do text. This is how you do this. And then you get a smartphone, like no manual. Give it to you, like figure it out. That's a big difference. So it depends on you, right? But the wait and see also is that, okay, I'll see what happens. Then you get left out. Right? Or you also have the trouble in what and how. That's why we're having this session. We're trying to define it, and then after that one, how can you move forward? And I hope the goal is not to actually make you experts in DT, but get you to understand what else do you need to look at, how do you learn more from this session, and moving forward, what can it do for you and your customers. Okay, there's no balance between operational and customer facing overall. So that's what we discussed. You want to do most projects on digital transformation is on operational processes. Right? We want to save cost, save cost, save cost. But then you lose out on the experience of the customer. So by the time you have saved so much cost, you have no customer. Right? There's no balance. Because somebody else created a new experience for that. If you were a taxi company, and you were just trying to save on what kind of cars you want, what kind, right? Even car rental companies in the US struggling now. They were just saving on cost, cheaper cars and all. Then Uber comes in and say, every time I travel just within the US, I have to get a rental car because taxi was so expensive. I would rent a car, $40, $50 a day. That's the whole time. Now I don't even have to worry because I don't drive every day when I'm traveling. Just take Uber, go one place, stay there, and then go take over back to the hotel, back to the airport. That's it. You save so much, right? But guys were continually saving, yeah, they save. But no more customer. Lack of velocity. Again, that's why we use technology. The lack of urgency. If we don't use technology, if we don't equip ourselves, that's why we have so many tools that are, you have Slack, you have Skype, you have DevOps tools. It's really to hasten to increase your velocity, to be able to deliver those experiences. The reason why these guys can adapt easily is that they have the technology and they have the people with the right mindset. Okay? The people more. Because the people are the ones more, you're not doing digital transformation. You're just doing digitization, which is fine. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. You're gonna save money on digitization. Right? Our entry point, these are the questions I received before, yesterday and the other day. So how do we do this one? How can we offer digital transformation to our customers then? Right now you cannot, because you don't know their business. Right? Unless you understand their business, you cannot provide. Unless you have implemented something in one of the clients in the same industry, that's the only time you can say, I can create this transformation for you because this is what we've done in this customer, in this category. I can tell it back to you. Okay? But if you don't have a case study yet, that's not your entry point. But if you start talking to them, we cannot do the same way we sell, like, okay, I call you, hey, we do cold calling and said, okay, I have this, do you want this? That's what we do, right? Or we create a website and said, oh, we're the greatest, we're the top, So, it's really understanding how does that relate to the customer. Look at it from the customer standpoint. What do they need to transform? You can help your other clients transform. Now, you're here because you already have clients. People, right? Employees. How do you tell that story that this is a transformation that I'm going to make? It has to be a story. Otherwise, if you have a PowerPoint, copies it. You have values, right? Corporate values. Sometimes in the back of your business card. Can you remember? Huh? Just two, right? That's easy. Imagine if it's a strategy. So if you tell a story, it's better. It's easier to remember because it's how you connect things. Okay? Now, you have to have a clear set of objectives tied to the business outcomes. Okay? Objectives, outcomes, business outcomes. If you don't have that, what happens? People will not believe it. What's in it for me? How can I? Okay. So if we do this one, we'll make money. If you make money, will you share that with our incentives? No. Right? So that's a challenge for you. You have to have a clear set of objectives. Sometimes it's so hard for us to share our objectives with our people. You don't transform your people to be creating business value, thinking of creating business value. That's lost, right? Transforming experiences, the same thing at the end, being agile. Being agile is actually one of the important things for you. If you have agile people that can adopt the changes, that can create new ideas, you don't have to worry. Because you know whatever happens to your business, whatever happens in your industry, they will be able to adapt. They will be able to figure out how to solve it. That's why you have to hire smart people. Okay? Agile, smart people with the right behavior. Okay, develop talent and skills throughout the organization. I know you can always hire the best. They're too expensive. And for the guys, they think they're the best. They charge more. They're not actually the best. Right? So you have to develop. People have the potential. You just figure out what's the best and how you can get the best out of it. Financial accountability. So all of the soft skills was gone to presentation. All of the things you can do on the soft skills, you have to do it. You have to how to grow. In large organization, it's continually. We have to create a plan, our development plan on soft skills. We don't even look at our technology development plan. We look at our soft skill development plan. Have you gone to this training? Managing conflict, okay, communications skills. So we have to go through that. And if you want to invest, do that. Because we only focus on technical skills. We have so much training on technical skills, right? You train on IoT, oh, I have training for you on IoT. Actually, all of the technical trainings you can read, you can watch. Soft skills, you can do online training on soft skills. Right? So, invest in that one as well. And then taking risk become a cultural norm. Here, taking risk mentality, that's the risk becoming a cultural norm. If you don't take risk, you will not have rewards. If you don't invest, do you think you will get a return? Do you think you will win the lotto or the lottery if you don't buy a lottery ticket? People always say, I wish I would win the lottery. Okay. How many tickets did you buy? None. Okay, definitely you will win. Right? That's why in the US, when there's a lotto, what happens? There's like $400 million. Office pool. Everyone will give $5. Like 100 people, like $5. And then we buy in bulk. If we win, we split it out. So that happened actually to a small insurance agency. They had 10 people. They had a pool. We're in, okay, $10 each. One guy did not pay yet. So he did not pay yet. He owed $10. When they came to the office, the office already knew that. And when we define digital transformation, we put a quote as to who the customer.
You're the
customer. Who's the end user?
Your son.
My son. When you're creating projects for your clients, who's the customer? Your clients. Who's the end user? Either their employees or their customers. So look at it that way. Look at the value chain. We call it the value chain. Who's gonna benefit and whose experience are you affecting? If you do that, then you create a better job of delivering. Okay? And then partners. Don't forget your partners. We talk about Microsoft investing in Apple. They became partners. They're also competitors. Even now, Microsoft is partnering with Sony for the PS5. The PS5 team and Sony and Microsoft are partnering to create a common network for gaming. High-speed network for gaming. So that PS4, PS5, whatever, and then Xbox, they will use the same network and they will share the same infrastructure. Sharing, right? But they still have partners. How Microsoft grew, Oracle, IBM, they have so many partners. You want to be partners of, you want to be partners of, if you are doing content, if I want to be partners of Disney, I would really love to be partners of Disney. Same thing when you're doing, I really want them to have an experience as customers and you're changing the way they're behaving. Okay? And the same thing with partners. Again, I don't have to repeat that one. The most fun part is when you're doing a business model transformation because everyone is affected. Okay? End users, customer, partners, employees, stakeholders, even family members. Because when you will be working so hard, you will not have time for your family. Okay? And we've done that, especially for younger ones. Sometimes we forget about our family, just have to work. Okay. Now, these are some. Okay. Now we go to what else can we do? These are easy things. When you say hacks, it's something that you can do fairly straightforward. And so this is strategy that transforms. All your meetings should be in support of that strategy. If it doesn't support the strategy, go out and drink. Don't meet, just go drinking. Okay? And then celebrate failure. I'm not saying if somebody fails, you celebrate it. Yeah, you're so good, you failed. No. It's actually going back to the risk taking, right? Somebody takes a risk in support of your strategy. If it failed, you celebrate that because they tried. If you haven't tried, you will not know. But if somebody just went in there and did something not in support of your strategy, what happens? It's just incompetence. Right? And mostly it's because they're not used to take risks and ask even questions. So if they're not even making, because if you're used to make decisions when you were younger, it's so easy to make those decisions when you're older. But if you're trying to make decisions when you're older, you're so scared to fail, right? Especially the way you're nurtured. That's okay. If you fail in school, what happens? Your life is over. If you fail a subject in school, you get first time you get whacked, right? I don't know if you still do that when I get before I get. In the US, you can do that. They take you to jail. But that's what happens. We're not conditioned. We're not allowed to fail. But actually, that's where we learn. My kids now, my wife is so worried. He's not doing well in his grades. Why is he not doing well? Oh, he's not studying. Okay, let him fail. It's okay for him. This is me. I'm not advising that they do this one, right? My thinking is that let him fail now because we are still here to be able to support him. Emails, catch up on status, follow up with whoever you want. Do your meeting in 60 minutes. Done. After that one, summarize for you whatever you've done in the meeting. Do your action items, catch up on emails, and then move on to the next meeting. Don't do back to back to back to back to back. We like doing back to back to back, right? We feel we're very, very productive. Actually, that's not good because you already forgot. By the time you're on the second meeting, you already forgot your action items from the first meeting. Or you're on the second meeting, you're not listening because you're doing the action items from the previous meeting. Okay? I also don't like going into meetings with laptops. or with phones, because what happens is that you're in the meeting, you open your laptop, listening, and then you're typing, and then you're doing something else. You're not there. Laptop can do so much more, right? Multitasking. Multitasking doesn't work for humans. It works for computers, not for humans. Okay? There's a study that when you change context every time, you actually lose a lot. Okay? All right. That's on the people side. Remember, human first before technology. And then let's look at technology. So these are just the top technologies that are being used for digital transformation: cloud, AI and automation, smartphones and mobile apps. The Salesforce CEO does not have a computer. He just has a phone, and he conducts business. And Salesforce is how many billion? How many employees? He just conducts business. He manages Salesforce via his phone. Okay? It doesn't have to be special phone apps. Okay? If you are using tools, they must have, if possible, if you're using tools for email, for collaboration, for DevOps, if they have a mobile tool or mobile website, that's good. Then you can use and do things just on the go. Okay? High-speed networking, Internet of Things. The IoT guys here, you're diving in. Data analytics, social media, because whether you like it or not, we do have social media accounts, right? Not everyone, but a lot of our users, our customers, even Trump tweets more than anyone else. Right? Have you heard of a president that tweets and just messes up everything else? Okay? And then blockchain. So if you're doing blockchain, don't look at the monetary side, well, not the Bitcoin side of it, but look at the other traceability and accountability portions of blockchain. Okay? Just stop. It doesn't stop there, but at least if you're delivering services, if you're developing technology, make sure that it covers. Imagine you're creating a cloud. Okay, this is a perfect one. You're creating a solution that is cloud native, that uses AI, accessible via phone, high-speed networking. It's a lot. And if you have IoT, you put it in. There's so much you can do, right? Just one product puts it all together. You have so much in your portfolio that you can work with. Okay, I think that's this is the last one. Key takeaways. What are the key things? Now you've seen one of what can you do now. Put your apps. That's one of the things that you can do now. But these are other things that you can do also. One is that create your digital strategy. Bill Gates spends 1 week. Have you seen Bill Gates' Mind on Netflix? So there's like 4-episode series on Netflix, the Mind of Bill Gates or Bill Gates' Mind. He spends 1 week a year in a cabin by himself just to think of strategy. Spend time to craft your strategy. Your strategy is not going to be overnight. Your strategy is not going to come in and say, okay, do this one. Sit down with your guys. Or sit down. It doesn't have to be your guys. Keep on thinking. And when I'm crafting strategy, while I'm driving, I'm on the plane, taking a shower, while eating, I'm still thinking of strategy. Because there's, at this strategy, you don't have to monitoring. Full cycle?
Sure this.
Huh?
Azure DevOps.
Yeah, but all the way. So you have tools, right? But tools are tools. It starts from planning all the way to production, monitoring, and then it loops back to you. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Good. You have your. Are you using calendars properly? When you set up meetings, are you sending meeting invites? Is it translated? It's cascaded all the way to your phones? Okay. So being mobile, right? If I look at my phone, I don't do anything. If somebody says, I schedule a meeting, if it's not on my phone, it doesn't happen. So that I don't forget any meeting. Once you coordinate a lot of people, so many people that you want to invite, right? If they just have access to their desktop for their calendars, what happens? They're having chai, they don't know. They don't remember. So if they have their phone with them, they have calendars on their phone, what happens? Right?
Security reasons and not allowing your mobile.
Look at it.
Security.
Yep. But why? So again, maybe it's for some organization, but in Microsoft it's the same. Maybe for your clients, confidentiality.